So I got the real book some time ago because I used to take guitar lessons whenever I was a kid, and the real book was something that we worked out of sometimes. And so there are a few songs from it that I remember that I worked on then that I've come back to learn. Misty and All the Things You Are and Autumn Leaves, some of like the classics from it. But it's been a long time since I've worked out of the real book. Even whenever I've come back to learn them, I have, I followed the chords and then hit up YouTube on like how to play through them type of thing. And so reading sheet music is something, and in particular lead sheets, is something that I'm just not very good at. And I would like to get better at, and I would like to get better at jazz. I'd like to know these standards better. And I would like to be able to pick up a sheet of music and be able to read through it without too much trouble. So that's what I'm going to do today. For better or worse, we're going to learn a song out of the real book. I've never heard this song before. I happened to open the book to a page with Big Nick and Black Coffee on it, and Big Nick, half a sheet, it's in G, it's mostly 7th chords, and so I'm picking it first because I think it's going to be an easier one, but I'm planning on doing more of these. So for this first one, and probably for the first several, it's going to be a real struggle, but we're going to do our best. So normally how I would go about learning something like this would be that I would listen to the song and kind of memorize it, memorize how it's supposed to sound, and I'm skipping that step right here. Like I can read the chords and I have some familiarity with the staff, but it's been a long time. Like I know what things are. I should be able to struggle my way through it without too much trouble or Googling, but it's really going to be a struggle, at least starting off. Hopefully this gets to a point where the videos aren't even interesting because I like any other, I don't know, musician who's good at reading music, I can just pick up the sheet and read it and learn the song. But at least initially, I'm foregoing listening to the song, even as like a vibe check, because I want the chords and the melody to be brand new to me, and that way, as I'm playing them, maybe it will make sense as to how they sound. Maybe the melody will start to come together, and I will hear it being correct. And then whenever I go back and listen to it, I can know how wrong I am. But the music has enough stuff on it that I should be able to find my way through. So, Big Nick, here we go. We're in G, it's mostly 7th chords. And I think how I'm going to start on this is I'm going to go through the chords and play the song, just chords. That's going to be the part that's going to be easier for me. And then from there, we're gonna struggle our way through the melody. And the melody looks like it's gonna be a struggle. I see a lot of accidentals. I see a lot of 8th rests. And so I think the rhythm might be kind of weird. I see a lot of jumps, like interval jumps. So there was a point in time where I could recognize intervals pretty quickly. That has eroded significantly. There are some jumps. There's some 5ths and 6ths and 4ths and things that are gonna have to take me struggling through. And a lot of accidentals, man. That's gonna be tough. Okay, here we go. So G major. I'm gonna start up here. And we're in 4/4. All right, G major 7. Okay, pretty standard 1, 6, 2, 5. And then again. And then got a G natural. G7 over B. I think that is G7 chord. Well, it would be because it's G7. Whenever I see something like G over B, I can never remember if it's a G chord with a B in the bass or a B chord with a G in the bass. But I think G with B in the bass would make more sense here, especially because G is marked with a 7. I think we're going to take the easy one. I think we're going to take advantage of the fact that we're in G. So we got our B in the bass. And then we'll make it a 7. Do I like that? I mean, I see where it's going. Is there one I like better? That feels a little more subtle, but it doesn't quite take you to where you're going as well. We'll go with that for now. C sharp diminished 7. That's the diminished chord I know. And the from the 6th string part of that, or version of it. Now I know fully diminished and half diminished exists. I don't remember how it's noted. And I don't remember which is which, to be honest. I think so. A diminished is a triad, and each of the intervals are 3 half steps. Wait. I mean, this is our C sharp diminished triad. It's C sharp diminished 7, which I feel like is just a 4th step of 3.5 step, or of 3 half steps. There's that note. So we have the 1, 5, 7, 3. Yeah. So 1, 5, 7, 3. So that's a C sharp diminished 7. I feel like half diminished. So that 7 is a dominant 7. I feel like maybe half diminished is like a major 7. Or that sounds more in line with what we're doing. That sounds kind of show-tuney. That dominant 7 does. And I feel like I feel like half diminished would be notated differently than just diminished. I feel like fully diminished would be what you would call diminished. C sharp diminished 7. I feel like this one is probably half diminished. For now, we're gonna go with this one and hope it's right. And it sounds good, like it sounds right, but like that didn't sound awful. Like that. It still sounds like it's going where it's going, but it doesn't have that show tune vibe that that dominant 7 does. So we're gonna go with that. G over D. Yeah, so that's one where like I can never remember if it's G with a D in the root or D with a G in the root. Although yeah, I don't feel like it would be that. So I feel like you can just kind of play it out to see. Like that's kind of the obvious one. And I know I went straight there, but it's a fairly common pattern from what I've seen. So that's kind of how I knew that. All right, so G over D, E7, A minor 7. Okay, and that's our first ending. A minor 7, D7. To take us back, go back to the beginning. Looks like our second ending is more or less the same, but then it resolves on just a G. Okay, so I'm gonna play the first. I'm gonna play through. It's a simple enough song, and it's medium slow, so maybe I should slow down a little bit. It's not like. It's probably more like. So we'll go like that. Okay, I'm gonna play through both endings. I'm just gonna play through the whole thing, ending 1, ending 2. It also says solos take the first ending only. So presumably how you would do this would be you would play the melody through into the first ending, and then you would solo through maybe another way through with the first ending, and then you would probably play through the melody again after the solo into the second ending and end the song. But for the sake of just doing the chords and playing it through, I'm just going to play through the first ending and then through the second ending, and it's going to be pretty similar. So it's going to sound like I'm playing the same thing twice. So here we go. Okay, yeah, simple enough. So that's why I picked this one. Looked like it would be easy enough for the chords. And that's not too bad. Cool. Okay, time to look at this melody. And it starts off with a lot of accidentals. Let's just get started. So C, but it's C sharp. So our first note of the song is a C sharp in G. So that tells you where this is going. I feel like typically on guitar, from what I remember, middle C is here, but that's like an octave lower than what normally middle C is. Like normally that's the note that middle C is for like every other instrument and singers. And this is John Coltrane. So he's probably playing it high. For the sake of reading music, it would probably be easier if I started here. But I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna take this as my middle C. So here goes. Start on C sharp. So C sharp, D, D sharp, E, E sharp, F. Why is it E sharp and F? Those are the same note. That's E, E sharp, but also F. Why is it the same note? So C sharp. And these are all eighth notes, starting with an eighth rest. So if we do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, ba 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 ba. Okay, so 1. Just gotta learn these notes first. C sharp. It was chromatic. It's C sharp, D, D sharp, E, E sharp, F. Wait. No, we're in G. G has. I need to look at the key signature. We're in G, and G has an F sharp. So that F is an F sharp because of the key signature. So it is chromatic. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, so and then we have looks like a sixth jump, but it's an accidental. Again, it's natural, so it's not. What is that note? Oh, it's D natural. It's calling it natural because previously in this bar, D was sharp, or most recently D was declared sharp, so it's D natural. Wait, every good boy does. Yeah, that's a D. D natural. Oh, right, because we started on C sharp. That was sounding wrong to me, because we started on C sharp. It sounded like we were in like F sharp because of the starting note, but no, it just, I think that eighth rest is kind of taking the place of like starting on a C. So we're starting on a C sharp. And so this this B is the first note of the next measure, and it's a quarter note. Rest. And then down a third. So our first couple bars are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right? Okay, and then the next line is chromatic again. So it starts off like that, but it doesn't do the whole walk up. It's a dotted quarter note there. And the last note is our D natural. Again, B, down a fourth to F sharp, and then E, and then A, E, C natural, A, E, C natural. Yeah. Okay, so that's a triplet. So it's eighth note. So starting back at our second line of G, we've got okay, and then that's the D. And that's the D where our next G starts, and that's a fifth. So that's A, and then a little run. D, E, D. So these are 16th notes. D, E, D, C, G. D. Is that an octave? Yeah, that's an octave. D, and then it jumps up a sixth with trill. Okay, so that starts on E, F natural, O to F sharp. Okay, so that's through the first ending. I don't have that memorized. I wouldn't say I have that learned. I would say I have struggled through it once. But honestly, it's a good starting point. So let's go back up to the top. I'm gonna have to do this a few times until I feel like I've learned it. But I do feel like I can feel where the melody's going. And as I kind of memorize it a little bit more, I think the rhythm is going to come together a little bit better and feel more natural, especially as I'm listening kind of in my head to the chord changes, if that makes sense. Well, that was cool. That went better than I expected, to be honest. I mean, it took longer than, a 10-minute video, or however long this turns out to be. And that was a relatively easy song. There were some difficult things about it, like the kind of sporadic rhythmic stuff and some of the chromatic stuff. But it was only half a page, and it basically had a verse. Not much in the way of changes. Like, I put my own spin on it, but I'm really happy with how that came together. Now, I did go back and listen to John Coltrane's recording for just like a vibe check to see how did I do. And yeah, like I'm really happy that I got most of it right. Botched that second ending, but that's okay. Honestly, it was good enough for me. So there you go. And the vibe wasn't quite on. Mine was kind of a little bit slower than the recording. The real book says medium slow, so I don't know. Maybe I just misinterpreted that. Also, my recording, even though during practice I was kind of more swinging, my rendition ended up being more kind of flowy, kind of slow dancey. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with just like the ability, like the fact that I was able to fight my way through it and figure that out. And I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna be doing more of these like let's play guitar type of things. I'm gonna be playing through the real book, not in any particular order. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. Let me know if you enjoyed that. Let me know what other songs that might be worth me looking at. But I am really interested at improving my ability to read music, but also like to learn music based off of a music sheet. So following lots of chords. I mean, I can follow a chord chart. I can follow a simple chord chart, but like being able to read, I don't know, jazz chords and like know what they all are quickly and be able to follow a melody easily enough. Drop a like, say hey in the comments. I always love to see it. And thank you so much for being here.